Have you heard of parasitism among parasites? A living environment more horrible than hell is immersed in a small fig. Every fig is parasitized by an insect called Rong Xiaofeng. For tens of millions of years, they have maintained a certain unknown relationship. In fact, figs are not really flowerless, but the flowers are hidden inside the fruit. When the longevity powder season comes, the female Rong Xiaofeng will drill into the fig body and entangle and penetrate the powder. The fig will reserve a secret passage for them at the bottom of the fruit in advance, but the diameter of the passage is extremely narrow. Welcome to Cryptic Creature. Press the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Rong Xiaofeng needs to do his best to drill in, even breaking his wings to squeeze out body fluids. This is a road of no return. In order to ensure the safety of the fishing ground, the entrance of the passage will be automatically closed after Rong Xiaofeng enters, and no one can enter. This defense mechanism seems seamless, but another invisible hunter has quietly mixed into the fruit through the Trojan horse technique. As soon as the female fung arrives at the destination, a nematode will enter from it drilled out of its body and begin to reproduce rapidly in preparation for killing the next generation of attractants. But there are always hands in the wall. The female peak of Jafeng outside the fig has begun to attack the unhatched bee balls. This is also a parasitic wasp. It knows that it cannot enter through the main door, so it simply uses a long ovipositor to drill a hole in the outer wall to break through. The working principle of the ovipositor is like a leather box injection. After forcibly piercing in, it will lay its own eggs on the developing bee balls and then take the lead in hatching, cannibalizing the attractants and occupying the insect camp. The strategies and means of the parasitic wasp are quite cunning, but there are always evil demons for evil. Another smaller parasitic wasp is waiting on the side to collect the remaining strength. It also has a long needle, but it does not drill holes by itself, but borrows other people's holes to lay its own eggs. As long as people pull it out, it will insert it from behind and lay its own eggs on other people's eggs, interpreting parasitism within parasitism to the extreme. The belly of the fig is now. The figs were in chaos and were bred with small wasps, nematodes, parasitic wasps, and parasitic wasps. After 2 months of development, the figs had matured one after another. The first to hatch were wingless male velvet wasps. What no one expected was that these male bees could not wait to mate with the female bees in the insect camp as soon as they were born. The female bees were pregnant before they hatched, and it didn't take long for the female bees to come out. The nematodes that had been waiting for a long time began to become active. They kept twisting their bodies and trying to catch a female bee and drill into its body. The female bee had no time to dodge at this time because she had a more important task. She had to stuff the pollen of the fig into her abdomen and then take it to another fig tree to complete the pollination. This was a reward for the figs for raising them, and it had never changed for millions of years. On the other side, the male bees began to dig holes. In addition to allowing the female bees to be fertilized, they also had to dig a passage to escort the female bees away. Figs open, and at the same time, parasitic wasps come out. They need the help of small bees to get out. If they miss the opportunity, these parasitic wasps will be trapped here forever. Although it is less than 1 centimeter away from the epidermis of the fig, it takes several hours for the male bee to open this passage. Now I understand why the male bee is so anxious. Its life has been incubated for 2 months, and the remaining few hours are just a few hours. It has to open this escape route for the female bee before it dies. For them, the faint light does not foreshadow freedom, but death. When the wind flies away, the male bee has fallen asleep in the fig. This is a race between life and time. At this time, the lifespan of the female bee is not much left. The nematodes are constantly eroding their bodies. They must find the next fig tree as soon as possible to complete the mission of pollination and reproduction. Otherwise, all the sacrifices will be meaningless.